It was my fault. I didn't check the dialogue. He looks a little demented. I don't want to say like I didn't use any critical thought because that sounds shady as hell, but hey friends, I wanted to do a little reading update. I finished volume 1 of Dungeon Meshi. This is a reread for me. It's a great series. I really recommend it. If you are looking, I don't want to say it's similar to Legends and Lattes. Well, actually, it is similar to Legends and Lattes, but I feel like this has moments where it feels a lot more high stakes, but it's still not necessarily like, you know, like a grimdark or very like anxiety driven story. So I really recommend this series. It is a reread for me, and I love this series. I love Violet, but I was planning to reread the rest of this series as well, but I'm just like taking it really slow because I've been obsessed with this painting by numbers thing. Like, it's upside down. You guys see it? I've just been obsessed with it right now, so I'm not reading nearly as fast as I normally would. But yeah, I just wanted to drop in, give you a little reading update. Hey friends, it is 10:30. I'm about to get ready to go to bed. I'm really tired today, but I wanted to do a little reading update. So Around mid-morning today, I started Leave It to the March Sisters by Annie Sereno, and then I finished it like around 5ish. This is almost 400 pages, but to be honest, this is a very quick read. I don't even think like, I don't want to say like I didn't use any critical thought because that sounds shady as hell, but it's a very quick read, very lighthearted, nothing like very heavy or lyrical in that way. I think this is going to be a like 2.5, but on Goodreads, I'll list this as a 3-star read. It was just kind of disappointing. It's not very good, but it's not very bad either. And I don't want to, like, I don't want to sound like, I don't know if bitchy is the right word, but I don't want to, like, sound like I'm just hating on this book when I didn't hate it. It was, like, fine read. It was, like, a good one-time read. I wouldn't have purchased it, to be honest, if I had known this, but but my major issues with it is that it really was inconsistent in the pacing. Like, there was a lot of pacing issues in the beginning, then it kind of like evened out in the middle a little bit, and then at the end the pacing was like kind of like erratic, and then I felt like the characters were very shallow, which is kind of a bummer because, like, obviously these are characters, particularly romance. You want to root for your characters, right? You want them, they don't always have to be endearing, right? They don't have to be like, you know, everyone has different taste, right? So they don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be endearing, they don't have to be funny, whatever, right? But like, I just didn't particularly care for the characters. Like, honestly, Theo and Amy, Theo is what they're calling Lori in this story. I would, like, if those two didn't get together, I would have been okay. There's not a lot of chemistry, and that's kind of a bummer, you know? You really want chemistry in a romance, particularly one where it's supposed to be like, how it's set up is like they're meant to be, but circumstances are kind of not allowing it, you know? So that was kind of a bummer. And like, I know I'm completely aware that like I'm very hard on books that depict abuse and trauma kind of lightly, you know. I'm totally aware. Like, that's just my lived experience, and I know that this is a bias I have while reading. You know, I don't want it to feel like light, like it's being handled lightly or kind of as an afterthought, because this is, at least for me personally, this is something I have lived through, and it feels kind of like, I know it's not personal, but it feels personal. I don't know, that was like a major issue I had. And like, they lacked chemistry. Like, Theo, the amount, like, the absolute lack of chemistry this couple had, like, and especially since like it's set up to be like their soulmates or whatever, I'm just like, what? Like, I literally have had more chemistry with my math books than I witnessed between these characters. Like, what's the point, you know? Like, especially, like, to be completely fair, I just came off from reading 7 Year Slip, and I absolutely adored the chemistry in that book. So coming into this and not enjoying the chemistry, not feeling it, not witnessing it, you know, not kicking and screaming, is definitely, and like, it's very like, I was gonna say exhausted. I'm just exhausted because I read this and I could have been reading something else. Anyway, yeah, it's not fair because I came off of 7 Year Slip where I absolutely adored everything in it, and the chemistry. Coming to this, I feel like I'm being a little harder than I normally would be, but also like, for $17, like, I don't know, I don't want to be like a bitch. I just felt like this didn't add value to my life, I'll be honest. Oh, that's hot as fuck. Hey guys, I woke up maybe like an hour ago, so I'm a little like, but I ended up reading volumes 4 and 5 of Dungeon Meshi, Oh, it is so good, guys. I think if you guys are looking for something that's similar to Legends and Lattes, but with higher stakes, but it kind of works out in the end, you know, I think it's a really great manga. The characters are so relatable and funny and like multifaceted. And the world building, if you are a sucker for world building like I am, the world building is done very well in this story. Like from how food and how they interact and the different races, like the detail, oh, so good. I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, I am rereading it, and I don't know if I mentioned, but tomorrow I'm actually getting, well, I'm getting 2 tattoos tomorrow. I'm getting Toad and Frog, and I am going to be getting a Liolis Flash by Jennifer from Baron Art Studios in Orange County. If you have a Netflix account, I recommend watching the anime. The anime is so funny. They did a really good job bringing the characters to life, and I just love it. There's some aspects of like kind of the gag physical comedy that are better conveyed in the anime, just because, you know, you could hear Lyle is barking like a dog and all that stuff, right? So it's pretty good. There's like so many scenes in the anime that I just started like scream laughing and I couldn't stop. It was so funny. But yeah, I really recommend it. Either way you consume this, you're like in for a great time. Other than that, I started a new sweater in green. I basically can fasten off, not really fasten off. For my gray one I can basically start separating the sleeves from the body, and I made a lot of progress. Like, I made some more progress, I don't know if I showed it earlier to you guys, but yeah, I made a lot of progress on this one, but it was my fault. I didn't check the dye lots. I just went in for it, and by the time I noticed I was too far in, and I was like, I'm not redoing that. You know, it looks good though. Like, the tension, guys, the tension on my stitches, no drop stitch in sight, increases, look neat and tidy. And like, I think also like the color thing, I think I could slightly live with if I had a different color gray or different shade of gray and made it like a 3-tonal look. I could, like, whatever, right? But like texture wise, I still do not understand why, like, even though it's like the same company and same yarn line, the Impeccable by Loops and Threads, and the same color, I don't know why the texture of the yarn is so different. Like, yarn, like the color lots, I totally understand because it's like impossible to do, right? Whatever. But like texture wise, it's like weird. I don't know. Anyway, I'm really proud of what I've done so far, but it's driving me a little bananas. So I just started to fasten on a new one in green, and I double checked all the dye lots. So I know for sure they are all the same dye lot.
The examples: the secluded house, the questioning of the main character's sanity, the amount of the film that takes place in darkness. And so when I say Midsummer is not trying...
Hey friends, I don't know the last time I checked in with you guys, but I started Weyward on my Kindle. I was reading it while I was getting my tattoos done today, and haven't got that far in. I also started Pet Semetery and I haven't gotten that far in either, so it is what it is. Tattoo wise, I went to Baron Art in Orange County and I got my tattoo done by Jen, and she's really nice, really sweet, really made me feel really comfortable because I was kind of frazzled because I was running a little late. That's my fault. While I was getting tattooed, I read a little bit of Weyward and Pet Semetery. I didn't get that far in. My tattoo appointment was only 4 hours, and it was a little awkward to read the Kindle while I was like half off the tattoo table and kind of like awkwardly positioned. I did get 2 tattoos. I'll show you guys in a bit. So far, I'm really enjoying Weyward. I was expecting it for some reason to be like family lore where it's focused primarily on familiar family trauma, generational trauma. And at this point where I'm at, I do believe that is the case, but I feel like there's more fantasy elements involved in this story compared to family lore, and I really like the mystical, magical realism aspects in family lore, so this is like amplified a little bit more. But I'm really enjoying myself, really like it. Pet Semetery wise, I have gotten like a few chapters in. The dad stresses me out. Something about his like him being so quick to anger just gives me anxiety, you know, and I'm just like so I mean it's doing what it's supposed to do, but it's giving me anxiety. So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned also yesterday I finished volume 4 and 5 of Dungeon Meshi because I did get a Dungeon Meshi tattoo. I got a Liolis Flash. Liolis is my man. He's my boy. He really, I really connect with him in a lot of aspects regarding interactions with people and like this feeling of not necessarily fitting in, but you're kind of like, you know, like if you have read the manga or watched the anime, you know how Liolis is, and I really relate to that in so many aspects. But yeah, so I got a flash of that, and then on my left ankle I got Toad and Frog. Actually, let me get the book. I actually got this scene from Toad and Frog, of Toad and Frog reading with a little bit of the greenery around it. I really like Toad and Frog, chef's kiss, so I ended up getting that. It's really bloody right now because it's on my leg, so I don't know about you guys, but whenever I get leg tattoos, I for some reason have a lot of blood, and I have a tendency to get a lot of my color work on my leg, so there's like an ink sac and all that, you know, but you know guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, definitely recommend the book so far. Definitely recommend Baron Art Tattoo if you're in the area and can get an appointment. And yeah, I am going to eat dinner, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Hey friends, it's been a few hours. I've read a little bit of Pet Semetery and then knitted a little bit more of my green and black sweater. I think I'm gonna call it for this week's vlog. I'm a little tired, and the tattooing always wears me out, so I think I'm just gonna take it easy for the rest of the day. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys are reading, and if you have read Dungeon Meshi as well. Speaking of Dungeon Meshi, let me show you guys what Liolis looks like right now. He looks a little demented, but it's just because of the ink sac. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. It's just my ink sac, which is such a disgusting term, but very accurate because it literally is a sack of ink between the seconds. Anyway, but yeah, that's basically it for me for now, guys. I'll talk to you guys later, and have a good one. Bye.